Hey guys, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel. Thanks for stopping by this Tuesday, 7 o'clock. That's when we have the lives every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Today I want to get into something, guys. It's been kind of popular around where I'm at. I'm in Southern California, and they say it never rains in Southern California, but that's not necessarily true, man. We've been having a lot of rain out here lately. And so I figured it would be appropriate to talk about some storm readiness, um, you know, tactics that you should take into consideration if a storm does hit your neck of the woods and so forth. So come on in the chat. This is Calibrate Tools and DIY, all about tools, all about home improvement, um, and things like that. We promote trade skills all day long. Hey, Perry Girl Life Notes, how you doing? Staying dry? Yeah. I'm doing my best to stay dry out here. Actually, hopefully most of the brunt of the storm has passed. But I don't know. I think it might be more rain coming down the pike. So yeah, how you doing out there, Perry Girl Life? Note, you staying dry too? Hopefully everybody's staying dry, staying safe. Yeah, guys. Storm readiness. Okay, we should all take this into consideration because, hey, like I said, it's Southern California. It does rain out here, but this time it really rained. I think it hit some record levels out here. 9 inches. I think it was like 9 inches or so in Los Angeles. But yeah, you never know when they're going to hit, right? You see the forecast coming, but you can only predict how bad it's going to be. But hey, I like the rain, so I got no complaints. But in any case, storms, guys, storms can wreak havoc. Storms can wreak havoc on your home improvement home improvement plans. I'll tell you that. Perry Girl Life Note says a little wet and a little chilly. Yeah. It's been kind of cold out here too. I don't know the temperatures it's hit out here, but man, even like today, the sun was out, but it was pretty cold outside. So that's another thing about Southern California weather. It's unpredictable sometimes. So I used to live in Florida, Southern Florida to be exact, and uh, that's Hurricane Alley down there. I used to live right on the tip in the Miami area, and yeah, I've experienced a few hurricanes in my day, so I know how bad they can be. So, so guys, I don't want to talk your head off. Let's jump right into it. It's not going to be a long live. Let's talk about some preparedness tips that you should take into consideration if a storm hits you. Okay, so actually, I'm taking some of this off of a site called Hurricane Prep List. Okay, hurricanepreplist.com. Guys, check it out. See, they got a good list of things you should take into consideration to keep yourself safe, keep your family safe during a storm. Okay, steps you can take. All right, here's a good one, guys. Evacuation. You should always have an evacuation plan. Okay, always have an evacuation plan in case a storm hits. I know, like people that live in the Bible, I was going to say Bible Belt, but that area where tornadoes hit, right, Midwest and stuff like that. We all see the damage and destruction that tornadoes can do, and down there, they know, hey, this is where we go. This is the protocol. This is the procedure that we must follow. If you hear that loud siren telling you, warning you, tornado warning, I think that's what they call it. And either they got to run down to the basement or they got to run in the bathroom, get in the tub and all this stuff. Well, you should have that plan, right? Wherever you are. Here on the West Coast, they got earthquakes, right? They don't happen often, but it's always a possibility of them happening. And you should have a plan of action. Okay. Simple as that. So have an evacuation plan, right? Have an evacuation plan if it's that bad, if you have to evacuate. But once again, over here on the West Coast, they have a lot of, they got earthquakes. I'm not saying a lot of them, but they do have them. Everybody knows that. But they also have, more frequently, they have fires. Fires just wipe out. I think every year it's like a fire that just wipes out certain swaths of Southern California, right? And people lose their homes and stuff. So if you don't have insurance or anything like that, good luck with that, right? So have an evacuation plan to save your life first, your physical life, and then also have that financial plan in order, insurance or whatever you need to have to hopefully replace some of the things you've lost. Okay. You should know all the routes, the evacuation routes in your area. Okay. Get familiar with them. If you don't know them now, it's like being on a plane, right? Everybody knows that when you fly on a plane, the stewardess gets up and they say, okay, this is the exit door, this is that door, and they go through that plan on what to do in case something happens. Well, it should be the same way when it comes to just living in your home, especially if you live in a fire-prone area. Uh, like I said, in the Midwest, they have tornadoes. Everybody knows the protocol for that. And if it rain, if it hurricane prone areas like in the Caribbean, right? Certain parts of the Caribbean, certain parts of South Florida. Once again, I used to live down in that area, so I know how it is. So always, if you really care about yourself, care about your family, know all the exit routes. Okay, know all the exit routes. It's like, okay, everybody's heard of people in nightclubs, right? Something happens, you have to know all the exit routes to get out. If you don't, we've heard of all the atrocities and calamities that have happened in nightclubs, whether it's somebody shooting up the place or something like that, and everybody gets trampled or something. A lot of people die, right? So don't take those things for granted, guys. Okay, get familiar with that. If you're a pet lover, I know everybody loves their pets, right? Some people love their pets more than people. I get that. Pets don't they don't disappoint you, right? They don't disappoint you like people can, and so people tend to gravitate and love their pets, and I get that. So if you care about your pets, this is for them too, right? This is for them too. So you got to plan for them as well. Okay. Here's another one, guys. Fill your gas tank. Have a full tank of gas. Have a full tank of gas, because anytime something happens, whether it's we know what happened when the pandemic was happening. We saw the grocery stores, all the shelves were empty. The gas stations were probably full. So if you get wind, or if you just have a hunch something's gonna happen, even if it's a storm or something like that, and you won't be able to get out of the house to get to a store later or something like that, fill your tank up early. It's all part of planning. It's all part of planning. So having a full gas tank is a smart thing to do. Okay. If you're, you know, I'll say for homeless people, yeah, I'm talking to you too. I know this is for everybody, right? Know where all the shelters are. Even for people, if you're not homeless, you should still know where the shelters are. You may lose your home, right? So get familiar with the shelters in the area. Okay. A lot of these storms can really wipe out an area. They can knock the electricity out. Um, all kinds of things can happen. Okay, so get familiar with all the um, emergency locations like shelters that are out there for you to take advantage of. Okay, in case of a severe weather or some kind of disaster or something like that. If you withdraw some cash out of the bank, because the banks may not be accessible either, right? So you may want to get some cash out, right? So that's another thing. Okay, a lot of times ATMs can go down, right? Or they could be really busy, just like a gas station or a grocery store. So always have something that's that you have near to you, right? If you don't want to have a lot of cash laying around, go buy a safe or something. Buy a safe and be prepared for that. Okay. Let's see who else is on there. Very Good Life Note says groceries that don't require heating. Okay, that's a good one, Very Good Life Notes, or refrigeration. Groceries that don't require heating or refrigeration. Yep. Evacuation center in your neighborhood. Exactly. Find out where all these places are. So in case what hits the fan, you're prepared, right? Because let's face it, most people aren't prepared, right? That's why it's going to be chaos. That's why it's going to be what they call pandemonium, mayhem. Because in times of disaster, most people are not prepared. You don't want to be one of those people. Okay. Yeah. All right. See what else we got here. All right. So let's just say you're locked down in your house. You can't get outside. Everything's going crazy. Whether it's raining super hard or the electricity is knocked out or something like that. You got to eat. You still got to eat. All right. You gotta be able to survive for a few days without um, having the luxury of going to a store or anything like that. So here's, as far as cooking and eating, here's some tools. Yes, calibrating DIY is all about tools. Okay. And you need some cooking tools, cooking utensils, right? So a can opener, you know, I was looking for a can opener the other day and I realized I didn't have one. I was like, okay, what are you doing without a can opener? Well, this is something you should have because canned food is very becomes very in demand in times like this. Okay, and I know I may sound like a prepper. Everybody knows about preppers and doomsday people and stuff like that, but they're onto something because stuff does happen, right? Just look across the world, you see wars happening and stuff like that. Those a lot of people weren't prepared. So yeah, have a can opener, have some paper plates, have some plastic utensils, paper towels, plastic cups, coolers. Have a cooler. Your refrigerator. You may not have any electricity, right? But if you have a cooler, you at least you can put some items in the cooler to keep them good for a while. Okay, and if you got a propane stove or even your barbecue grill may come in handy, right? You may have stock up on that extra charcoal for the barbecue, right? To cook some food for yourself and your family. Okay, you may want to buy non-perishables, right? Things that can last you a while in terms of food, like crackers, peanut butter, nuts. But you gotta be careful if you're allergic to certain nuts. Don't get those, right? Cereal, right? Like I said, canned food. Um, Hey, everybody knows about ramen noodles, right? You might want to stock up on your noodles. If you got young kids like babies, you stock up on baby formula, baby food, um, and of course you got to have your seasonings. Have your seasonings. You don't want to eat bland food, so stock up on some seasoning, salt, sugar. The staples, pepper, stuff like that. And of course, you guys know you got to have what? What am I going to say? Essential. You can't go without it, right? Water. You got to have some water. At least a 3-day supply of water. Okay. At least a gallon per person in your house. So, um, if you're into drinking, if you like some alcohol, might want to have a bottle or two to pass the time. Not to, I'm not promoting drinking or anything like that, but in moderation. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Um, those power drinks that get you all hyped up. Uh, I've actually seen people collapse from overindulging in those types of drinks, like red. I don't want to knock down certain brands, but you got to be careful with those as well. Okay, so but definitely water. Okay, nothing wrong with a little coffee. Um, if you have a health condition, make sure you have all your medicine stocked up. Right, if you got any high blood pressure, have your high blood pressure pills, whatever pain relievers. Um, you know, allergy medication. If you have asthma or something like that, make sure you have your what do they call that again? The thing that you have to squeeze in your mouth if you have an asthma attack. That thing you have to have all of that. First aid kit, right? Make sure you got a first aid kit. Okay, bandages, eye wash. Make sure you have some latex gloves, some antibiotic ointments, things like that. Okay, in case you get a cut or something like that, you're outside cleaning up and something happens. Make sure you got your first aid kit on hand because you may not be able to get to a hospital, right? So have your tourniquets, whatever you need, right? Let's see here. Of course, when it comes to hygiene, right, you want to have your stock up on your toothbrush, toothpaste, floss, soap, shampoo, toilet paper, of course, right? Can't go without that. Wipes, like I said, if you have a baby, young kid, a toddler, you want to make sure you have your wipes on hand, um, and just have a spare bucket or something like that to dispose of this stuff as well, right? Because you don't want to clog up your your bathroom, right? You don't want to clog up the drains, whether it's a toilet drain or anything like that. You want to clog that up because you're going to need that. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Hey, Reno, how you doing, Reno Stubbs? Good evening to everyone. Right, first aid kit and oh yeah, batteries and prescription medication. Exactly, Reno. Got to have that. Batteries, essential, right? Flashlights, all that stuff, or radio, something where you can, you're not relying on the grid to get information. So you need a battery operated radio. I know a lot of preppers, they have that. They have those. What do you call those? Those CB radios and stuff. You see them in the basement talking to each other. As a trucker, I know all about CB radios, right? And trust me, I've stumbled upon some conversations, some questionable conversations, but that's another story. But yeah, to have things like that, be prepared, be able to communicate with the outside world, um, um, with instruments that are independent of the grid, battery operated instruments. Um, the internet may go down, right? So all you may have is a all you may have is a battery operated radio. Okay, so all that, once the grid goes down. Hey, and another thing too. Well, if it's storming, you probably won't need a solar panel, but that's all part of planning too. Because if you're familiar with solar, you can store enough energy in battery packs to power a lot of things, right? So having a solar panel, and when the sun's out and everything's nice, storing all that energy, that'll come in handy if something really hits the fan. Okay, so you might want to get familiar with solar technology, how solar panels work, and all that stuff. Okay, because trust me, it's very useful, right? Yeah, Perigirl Life No says inhaler. Yeah, that's the tool right there. Inhaler. It's what you use if you have an asthma attack. You want to make sure you have your inhaler on hand. Okay. Um, let's see here. Power drinks full of chemicals cause heart attack. Yes, those power drinks. That's what I was talking about. The Red Bulls and the Monsters and all that stuff. I've seen 6'6" guys just fall out because of drinking too much of that stuff. Big guys too. I've seen what power drinks can do. So yeah. Hey Claudette, how you doing? Claudette McCoy's in the house. Yeah, change of clothes, socks, and blankets. Absolutely, very important. You got to have those clean clothes, guys. Can be able to, because once again, you may not be able to use a washing machine or anything like that to clean your clothes. You can't go to the laundromat. The grid is down. So if you have a good, some clothes set to the side, you got to have that. Socks are very important. I mean, I don't want to like talk about myself too bad, but my feet aren't the best looking feet because I didn't take care of them. I was in the military for a while, and I used to do a lot of 25-mile road marches, and they wreak havoc on your feet. They wreak havoc on your feet. Not to mention jumping out of planes and landing on the feet, and just so my feet, I'm working on them. I'm working on them. But part of the reason why is because why my feet aren't the way they are should be right now is because I didn't change my socks as often as they got wet and stuff, and I didn't. You're supposed to change them out all the time, right? Especially when they get wet. And now I'm paying the price for that. So, Claudette's very right. Clothes, socks, blankets. Absolutely. You got to have your blankets on hand, okay? Claudette says charging device. Yeah. And if your grid's down, you can't really use a charging device if the grid is down, but they do have chargers that are, cordless, right? Today they have the chargers that you can use that are battery operated. So you can get you a battery operated charging device. That's a good one, Claudette. Very good. Life No says solar panel generator. Yes, all of that. I was actually getting to that, a generator. You got a generator, but guess what? You're probably going to need some gasoline if you can't plug it into the grid, right? Probably going to need some gasoline there. And I'm not telling you to go out there and jimmy rig it off of the power pole, because I don't want you to get electrocuted, or jimmy rig it off of someone else's who has electricity. Yeah, I know people do what they got to do in those times, but if you can be as independent as possible without relying on the grid, that's a good thing. Okay. Claudette says a safety knife. Yes, a safety knife. Absolutely. You want to get you one of those multi tools, right? That has a knife, has the screwdriver, has the wrench, and flashlight and everything combined. Actually, guys, I'm coming out with a tool right probably in the next week or so. It'll be up. Okay, it's a multi tool. It has all of that in there. It's going to be on the site calibrate.com. That's it, right on the lower left corner of the screen. Check it out. Constantly adding products for you guys to benefit from. Okay, and it also helps to support the channel. Fire starter, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Fire starter, yeah. Okay, yeah. Like when you start your grill for your barbecue or your fireplace, that's a good one to have. And if you have a fireplace, hey, that's even better. We're not all living like that. Claudette, you living like that? You got a fireplace? Yeah, fire. If you don't have that, have some matches on hand. Matches, right? Matches come in handy. Okay, just think about it. Like if you went camping or something like that, you would pretty much be in this mindset already where you have to live off the land, right? So and anything can happen. Okay, don't underestimate things that can happen. The people when the earthquake happened, the major earthquake happens, they didn't anticipate that. People didn't anticipate that. Down there in Louisiana when it got flooded from I think Katrina, they didn't anticipate that. So just want to be on alert. Okay, I'm not saying you got to be paranoid, but just be on alert. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see what else we got here. I appreciate you guys for the input. I mean, I really do. You guys coming up with some good things, some good things you got to have to stay prepared. All right, so obviously these are obvious things. You got to have your rain gear, air mattress, sleeping bag. Like Claudette said, you got to have a warm blanket, rope. Yeah, you might need to tie something down, right? Basic tools. You got to have some basic tools: a wrench, pliers, multi-purpose tool. Like I said, okay, like a multi-tool or something like that. Have your toolbox stacked. Okay, have all the tools that you need. I mean, you're gonna have to probably build something or secure something, right? You may have to put up those wooden panels over your windows, especially in the hurricane season, right? So you're gonna need tools for that, right? You're gonna need drills. You're gonna need screws. You're gonna need hammers. You're gonna need all that. You're gonna have to cut wood. You're gonna have to cut wood and all that. You're gonna need duct tape. Duct tape is good. You might have to get on the roof and do some work on there to repair some shingles, right? Before the rain hits it too hard. So you're gonna need a ladder, right? Yeah. What else, guys? What else? Let's see here. Fire extinguisher. That's a good one. Got to be able to put those fires out in case something ignites, right? Put those fires out. Have an extra set of keys, right? Not just to the house. Have an extra set of keys to the car, right? Let's not forget our car. That's a horse. We need that. Once again, keep that gas tank full. Make sure those tires are inflated. We should be doing that anyway, right? Checking our tires periodically. Like Perigo said, have a generator. Have a generator on hand. Okay. And while you're doing all this, you got to protect. While you're around the house taking care of things, you may need some gloves. Get a pair of heavy duty gloves. Right. I can't tell you how many times I sliced up my fingers. As a matter of fact, my fingers are still sliced up. They're healing now just from not wearing gloves, just for not thinking, oh, it's going to be okay. The minute you think that you're not going to get cut, that's when you get cut. That's when you get sliced. So have some gloves. Take care of your hands. You only got 2 of them, right? Wear the proper shoes. Got some steel toe boots or something like that if you're going to be handling stuff, heavy things. You don't want them to fall on your feet. Then you're crippled, can't walk, can't do anything, right? Let's see here. I know a lot of people today, because of the pandemic, we've been used to wearing masks and stuff like that. Do I have any masks around? But yeah, you're gonna need those too, right? Have some dust masks or some kind of filter, right? For when you're dealing with because you may have to deal with a lot of fumes and stuff like that. Even if you're dealing with propane at that time, that's not good to inhale. Another tool is like that's good to have is a chainsaw, because if you got tall trees around your yard and stuff like that, you don't want those branches hanging over your house, okay? Because all it takes is a strong gust of wind to break a really thick branch and come crashing down onto you or onto your house, onto your car, and you're done. So you may want to trim the trees around your house, right? If you know a strong storm is coming, or a hurricane or whatever, tornado, cut those trees down. Cut those trees down. Reno says extremely important to have all the necessary emergency numbers. Oh, that's a good one, Reno. That's a good one. Yeah, have a list of emergency numbers that people you can call. Okay, people you can text, right? Because sometimes you can't call, but you can text. I don't know. It just works like that sometimes. If the internet's not totally down, right? If the phone service is still up, yeah, stay in touch with others through your cell phone or your devices. Very important. Thanks, Reno. That's a good one. Have emergency numbers on hand, and not just for other people, but for just the emergency. I think what is it? Either 911, 311. Those numbers, have those on hand. That's a good one, Reno. Make sure now that we're speaking about that, make sure your phones are in good order, right? Your cell phones, your chargers, um, flashlights, a clock, things like that. Have your batteries stocked up. And while you're sitting around the house waiting for the storm to pass, you might be bored out of your mind, or you get tired of looking at the person for 3 days, right? And that's what happened during the pandemic. Did you guys know that? And this is kind of off topic. I think during the pandemic, the most divorces happened because everybody, they were around each other all the time. And, I guess people got tired of looking at each other or something. And yeah, a lot of divorces happened. That's crazy. But hey, it is what it is. But have something to entertain you yourself, especially if you're alone, right? If you don't have anybody else, it's only you. Have some books or something. Have and some, I don't know, board games or something, right? Something to keep you occupied. I don't know, play solitaire. So just have something to keep you entertained, whether that's reading material, visual material, something to watch on if your internet's up, you can, YouTube, right? Go ahead and watch Calibrate Tools and DIY all day. That's good too. By the way, guys, don't forget to subscribe to Calibrate Tools and DIY. We do our best to put out some good information for you guys when it comes to home improvement, DIY, promoting the trades, especially to our young people, so they can go out there and have a fighting chance out there. If they're not really college bound, but it's still good to have a skill, right? You won't hurt. It won't hurt to have a skill, a hard skill that you can use to make money anytime. The stool I'm sitting on is squeaking a lot. I gotta put some oil and WD-40 on it, so I'm sorry about that. All right. Yeah. So once again, if you love your pets, make sure you stock up on the pet food, right? You got to have pet food. If you got an older pet or a pet that needs medication, make sure you got medications for your pets. Cat litter, litter boxes, all that stuff. Okay. If your pet, also it's good to have tags on your pets as well, right? In case your pet runs off, and it's good to have a tag, with the information on it, so somebody can find the pet and possibly return it to you, right? Stuff around the house, okay? Stuff around the house that you may want to keep in mind as well. You want to clean your gutters, right? You want to clean your gutters. Sometimes your gutters get clogged, especially if you have a lot of trees. Your rain gutters can get clogged with leaves and stuff like that, so it won't drain properly, right? So you end up with you could actually back up on your roof in a valley in your roof somewhere, and cause leaks, right? Or it just may come off the side of your house, just flooding down the side of your house like that, and that's all because your rain gutters are clogged with leaves or debris or something like that. So every now and then, even in good weather, get up there and check out your rain gutters and clean them out. Okay, clean them out so you can have good drainage, right? Good drainage when that water comes down. You also want to turn your fridge and freezer to the coldest setting to keep them closed, all right, as long as possible, all right. And you may want to freeze bottles of water while you're at it. Okay, it's good to have that. Have some frozen bottles of water ready and on hand. And I know I'm talking about a lot of wet weather, but in dry weather, like droughts and stuff like that, it's good to have some frozen water. Okay, when a drought hits. Okay, so that's the other extreme, right? Extreme wet, extreme dry. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's see what else to talk. Yep. Reno says pet safety and foods. Claudette says maybe an old school map. Yeah, in case no internet service and you have to get going. Yeah, that's right, Claudette. Actually, I was actually on the list. It's good to have a map. Uh, to an old school map, like Claudette said. So if you don't know how to read a map right now, get familiar with it, right? Because you may need to know how to read it. Just know where north, south, east, west is on the map, and you should be able to feel your way around there. But that's a good one, Claudette. Have a map, man. Have a map on hand. I think I actually saw that on the list myself. Okay, wash all your clothes, wash all your dirty laundry. So for us sloppy people out there that have piles of dirty laundry laying around, it's not good. It's not going to be good when you have a storm hit and you have all these dirty clothes laying around, stinking up the house, right? So all those good habits of staying clean and washing your clothes every week or every other day, or they come in handy, right? They come in handy. Same with cleaning trash out. If you got a lot of trash, take your trash out. Take your trash out on a regular basis. If you got rain barrels, you want to empty the rain barrels. But when I was coming up, my people, they used to collect rainwater and wash their clothes in it, wash their hair with it. But with all the chemicals in the atmosphere, I don't even know how healthy rainwater is these days, to be honest. If you got any meat laying around, if you're a meat eater, make sure you cook all the meat. Okay, cook all that meat. You don't want that meat sitting around and festering and attracting maggots and flies and all that stuff. You don't want that. So you want to cook it and possibly freeze it and put it away or something like that. Okay, because you may not even have the electricity to cook it later. But if you have like a grill or something like that, and you got the fire starter, you can hook it up. But you don't want meat sitting around that long, okay, without refrigeration or something, or some way to keep it on ice or something like that. Okay. If you got the smoke alarms, we should be doing this anyway. Check out our smoke alarms. Check out our carbon monoxide alarms, detectors. Um, Carbon monoxide detectors. I mean, they sell them at the hardware store. Okay, guys. So you can go grab you. They have different types of carbon monoxide detectors, but that's a silent killer right there. Okay, so in a severe storm, things can happen where carbon monoxide leaks into your house. We all heard of people that actually commit suicide by inhaling carbon monoxide. So it's a silent killer, right? A lot of times people in fires, people that die in fires, they don't necessarily die by getting burnt up. They die because of inhaling smoke, right? Uh, before the fire hits them, or sad way to go, but it happens. So you want to make sure that you check those, make sure they're in good working order. It's good to test your alarms too. Test your smoke alarms, test your carbon monoxide detectors. I think they have test buttons on them. And if even a regular alarm on your, in case somebody breaks in your house, you want to test that alarm too, because in times like that, everybody's desperate. People are going to be breaking into homes, trying to live, trying to survive. That's just human nature, right? When it gets down to it, it's every man for himself, and you got to be able to protect yourself. Okay, got to be able to protect yourself with whatever you have to protect yourself with. All right. So if you got to go to the range, uh, and practice, let off a couple of rounds and some targets, and get your target practice on. Nothing wrong with that either, because at the end of the day, you got to protect yourself and your family. Let's see here. Yeah. As far as that as well, I mean, they may want to invest in like some safety cameras as well. Put around the house strategically, place around the home. Something you can see when somebody knocks on the door. It could be anybody, right? Posing as a delivery person or whatever. You got to be able to identify them, or and say, no, I'm not letting you in. Or if it's an actual person that you know. But if you have a safety camera, you can see who that person is, right? If you don't know them, don't let them in. Times like that. Okay. Fill your bathtub with water so you can use that to flush the toilet if there's no water pressure. Yeah, that's a good point. All right. You got to have that extra water on hand, right? You need water. You need extra water to drink with, right? To stay hydrated, but you also need to be able to, you know, get the waste out of your home with water. All right. So if the water pressure is down, or if the water pressure is out, you need that. You need to be able to fill up your toilet, right? Fill up your toilet and to flush it. You need to be able to take a bath in, right? Right. And you may not be able to be taking a bath every day, right? Because you don't want to waste the water. You got to ration it out, just like you may have to ration your food out. So it's going to take some discipline there. Um, Here's one I didn't think about: record video of your belongings, right? Record video of your belongings. So let's just say you got to evacuate. You got to evacuate your home because of a fire or something like that. At least you have a recording, right? You have a recording of all your belongings, right, on film. So in case you come back and everything's gone, hey, like this is my recording. Something happened. Somebody broke in, and you can actually show the insurance company, hey, look, this is the film of all my belongings, and that's proof, right? That's proof right there. If you live in a mobile home, like a lot of people do, believe it or not, a lot of people live in mobile homes in the United States. You get, but mobile homes are not gonna, they're not as stable or secure as a home built on a slab with a foundation. So you got to find a way to anchor that mobile home down. Okay, especially with strong winds or something like that. Tornadoes, I don't know if it's gonna help if you anchor it down or not, because they pick up anything, right, out of the ground, right, houses and all that stuff. But it doesn't hurt, right? It doesn't hurt to further secure your mobile home with some kind of anchor to keep it in place. Um, like I said, we talked about trimming trees, trim your branches. If you got a boat or something like that, got to anchor, tie down your boat. Make sure it's tied down so you don't lose your boat. And anything that's really not anchored in your yard, tie it down. Okay, tie it down or something like that. All right, let's see. I'm going back here. Yeah, Reno. We talked about insurance. You want to get, Reno said, good insurance. Yeah, you want to get something that covers everything, right? You don't want to, probably don't want to skimp on your insurance, because you can really lose out on that. So when it comes to your assets, you don't want to skimp on insurance. So look into that. Um, all right. Anything else, guys? You guys gave some good ones, man. Man, that's what I appreciate about my audience and my supporters. The supporters of the channel, I should say, not necessarily me, but the supporters of the channels. They really come on and support, and they got some good things to contribute, right? And like I say all the time, it's not just about me giving information; it's about us sharing information, right? We go back and forth. And all right, how about this, guys? You gotta here's another thing. You want to have all your important paperwork, right? All your important paperwork you should have. You really should have it in something plastic, right? Waterproof, or a waterproof container or something like that. Like your social security cards, your insurance policies, your birth certificates, your marriage certificates. If you got stocks, bonds, all your financial stuff, your wills, your deeds, if you got a trust or something, all your trust paperwork, deeds to the house, deeds to your properties, tax returns, all that, what I'm saying? Health records. Even for your pets, pets have health records now. And of course, you got to have your passwords to all your devices, right? In case somebody needs to get in there, right? And this is stuff that you should have anyway. Like say you pass away, right? And you should have this all in order, right? So somebody can come in and take care of business for you, right? But yeah, passwords, man. Passwords very important. How many of us forget our password to something, right? I forgot my pin number to something today. I mean, the other day, and it was going to give me access to some funds, and I forgot the pin number. So I had to, usually I just record it or something. I guess I didn't record it. So I had to go through the hassle of waiting the next day, because it was a holiday yesterday, waiting the next business day to call to see if I can get this pin number back. I wasn't, or at least change the pin number. Fortunately, I was able to do that. But I had to kind of kick myself, because I was like, man, you never do this. You always record your pin numbers. right? But fortunately, like I said, I got it back. So don't forget to do that, right? Record all your important information in case something goes down, guys. All right, guys. I appreciate you listening. I hope you got something out of this live. Once again, Southern California, they say it never rains in Southern California, but that's a lie because it rained like cats and dogs out here in the last uh, 3 or 4 days, the last week or so. And so it can happen anywhere. And it's a little colder out here too, so it does get cold out here on this part of the world. So hope you guys got something out of this. And I appreciate you, everybody who came in the chat. Perry Girl Life Notes, Reno Stubbs, Claudette McCoy. I appreciate every last one of you. Much love to all of y'all. And anybody watching who didn't come in the chat or who's going to watch on the replay, hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Support the channel. Really trying to give you good information every week, okay? The next video coming up on Thursday, guys. Look out for that one. That's going to be a video about basic plumbing, okay? So in case you need to change some plumbing or something like that, check it out. And you can dive deep all the time. It's a never-ending learning process when it comes to this stuff. But if I can just give out what I know or what I've learned to you guys, because I'm learning too. I don't know everything, but that's what this is all about. We all learn together. So appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget to go to calibrate.com, support the channel, guys. Subscribe to the email list. We got a lot of home improvement tips every month. I send out an email to each of you on some home improvement tips and hacks and all that stuff. Got some good products on the site as well. Don't forget to get an emergency kit. Now that we're talking about storm readiness and stuff like that, an emergency kit for your car. Okay, you need jumper cables, you need flashlights, you need things like that in case you get caught off guard, you got a flat tire or stuck in traffic, accidents, things like that happen. I've seen a lot of accidents this past week, and it's crazy. You're stuck in traffic like that, but you need to be able to protect yourself and get back on the road again. Okay, so Calibrate. We have an emergency kit on the site. Check it out. Scoop one up for you, your family, or somebody you care about. Everybody needs that, especially the woman in your life, okay, or your kids, or you don't want them stuck out there on the road. You want them to have the proper equipment to at least stay safe until they get help, okay. So check out the site and grab one, okay. So guys, I appreciate you. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.